Hello, ladies and gentlemen. It is I, Alistair. Bit of well, I don't even know if this is a slack one. I had a plan for all of this footage of me assembling these shorts, but that was literally a year ago, and I've sat here with it on my computer just taking up space. And I'd already edited it, already clipped it together, already edited out anything like that was completely uninteresting. So I figured I might as well just talk over it, and we'll put it up as sort of an extra. Hey, what does Alistair think when he's putting together gear video? So, gear. How do I do it? What do I do? And why do I do it? Of course, everything is spandex and or lycra, cotton elastane or polyelastane or nylon elastane mix. Why? You've got to stretch. It's wrestling gear. It's got to stretch. It simply has to in order to fit the way it's supposed to. You can't get away with like t-shirt, jersey, or wool anymore these days, and people going out there wrestling in jeans is filth. As for like what makes the decision between cotton, poly, and nylon elastane, literally just can I find the fabric that I need to in the colors that I need to or the finish that I need to in that particular fabric. If I could, I would honestly do everything out of cotton elastane. I much prefer how it feels, and there's a reason why I line everything that I make with cotton elastane. I think it makes everything feel a lot more durable. And it generally feels a lot nicer on the skin. Like in the background of all of this footage, you see that big swirly psychedelic fabric. That's just whatever cotton elastane fabric I could find that was cheap. And you'll see on the inside of both of the legs when I'm done with these, they've got interesting looking fabrics on the inside, just insane linings. Just whatever I can find that's cotton elastane and is not too too expensive per meter. What else? How do I put the details on? So what I'm doing here is a process called applique. What I've done is I cut out squares of fabric. I have sprayed the back of them with Selleys linoleum spray adhesive, and then I slap it on top of the base fabric, and then I stitch around it with a zigzag stitch. If you're doing like a design, you'll usually do that zigzag stitch in the same color as the fabric so it doesn't show, or at least if it does show, it looks nice and neat. But here, I've got a very specific sort of design language that I'm going for, which I will talk about, which is called Sashiko Ori. It is a Japanese method of reinforcing, repairing, and like reusing fabric where they sort of stitch this really thick white thread through the fabric, building up sort of pieces, and they build these sort of beautiful, like there's these beautiful sashigori jackets that are like generational. They're like somebody's great granddad's like original jacket that's been repaired and repaired and repaired. And it's essentially like the ship of Theseus, like no part remains that was the original jacket. But because fabric used to be difficult to weave, difficult to come by. It was a way to, and also, as a Japanese peasant, you weren't allowed to detail your fabric in any way. Like, you couldn't have fabric that was dyed or weaved, lest you get your head cut off by the local samurai. So I think it all had to be blue or grey or something, something, some bullshit, some classist nonsense. And so what they would do in order to detail their fabric was they would stitch these intricate patterns into it. And this isn't that, but it resembles but is legally distinct from that. What I'm doing here is I'm using up... Sorry, cat. My cat it is 9:30 p.m. He's had his treat. He's had his walk. And he knows it's bedtime, but I'm currently doing this, and so he thinks that maybe if he meows at me enough, he'll get an extra treat out of me, and he will not. So I've got to hit him with the old spray of water if he meows at me. So that's unfortunate for him. Hopefully you won't hear that in the background. Anyway, what I'm doing here is I'm just using up patches. Like whenever I do a set of gear for somebody, I end up with leftover fabric, and like I have 2 full bags of just like scraps that I'm trying to God, just trying to find somebody who's filling up like a Muay Thai heavy bag so they can take these scraps of fabric away from me. But a way that I like to use them is in this, what I'm doing here, just building up like my Harlequin sets. I know Eli wears them. Cubby Reed on the Australian scene wears a fair few of my Harlequin sets of gear. And Akira got a set of my Harlequin gear when he came down to DMDU a little while ago. And I really like making them because it gets rid of, I make them at like a significant discount to what that level of gear would cost if I was to make it with not my scraps, if I was to buy everything new. And also it gets rid of my scraps, and I think the way it looks is cool. All right, here I am running through the overlocker. That's the crotch and the ass seam have gone together. And here I am doing the join of the legs. And there we are. This one, you got to be a little bit careful to make sure that it gets like both legs nicely. My overlocker, like all my machines are pretty basic. Like, see some people out here who are like, oh, I didn't even start doing X until I got an industrial machine, or I didn't start doing X gear until I did this. You don't need it. You need a decent quality home machine, and you don't even need an overlocker. I just have one because it makes finishing my seams to like a professional in quote standard faster and easier for me. And it also like ends up with everything looking neat and clean. Whereas in order to get that same level of finish with just a home machine, like I'd need to French seam or bind all my seams with like a spandex tape, and that'd take fucking ages. So overlocker it is. And I also reinforce all my seams with a zigzag stitch because I don't like my shit falling apart. There's two like nightmares that I have about gear that I make, where someone comes to me and spends hundreds of dollars on gear and then never uses it, which has happened. Like, because they've either changed the gimmick, or like they just fell out of love of wrestling, or just the tag team that they thought was going to come together didn't come together because it's wrestling and someone's always a fucking dickhead. And so, like, that's one of my nightmares. And the other nightmare is someone buys something from me and it falls apart. Which has also happened. Fucking Mikey Broderick got a pair of my knee pads years and years ago. And I just changed over the foam, and I just changed over I started using heat transfer to do details on them. And that pair of knee pads that I sold him, like, they were just, I thought they were fine. And because I was rotating through sets, because I made myself a bunch. And so I was like, yep, this foam's fine, this stitching's fine, everything should be fine. He just used them every weekend for like a couple of months in a row, and they fell apart. And like I offered to get him fixed up. I organized, I asked Mick Brady to go down and pick him up next time he was down there. And I told Broderick to send him back with him, and they just never came back. So I don't know, like maybe down in Slam in Canberra, Alistair Fleming's gear has shit reputation. Otherwise, like anytime anybody's had gear that like hasn't been 100% right, I've been there to fix it. But yeah, that one again, Mikey Broderick's got some fucking clout too, so that just sits over my fucking head for the rest of my life. So now I double zigzag all my seams, I stitch all my seams flat. I only use Gutermann thread unless like I can't find the Gutermann in the color, or it's for applique stitch. Like if it's a structural stitch, it's Gutermann thread. Otherwise it doesn't, like I don't trust it. I don't trust Birch. I definitely don't trust any dollar store or any like off-brand threads. Gutermann, it's gotta be. You'll notice the machine is a Singer Heavy Duty. Singer Heavy Duties have a shit reputation because I understand there was, here we are. This is what I do to my seams to reinforce them. I run a zigzag stitch over the top and stitch them flat so that like, if this seam is to rip, it has to rip, like, it's got to rip against physics. Like, it's really got to be fucking pulled on hard in order to come apart. But yeah, Singer Heavy Duties have a shitty reputation because there was very poor quality control in the first few batches that were made. And also, the name, Heavy Duty, is not what the machine is. It's like I wouldn't say it's a light duty machine, but it's a medium duty machine. I have gone through foam. I have sewn like a canvas patch on the back of my jiu-jitsu gi. Like it's got some grunt, but it's not an industrial, and people treat it like it is, and then it falls apart. Here we got me. This is building up for my screen printed patches. So if the logo is too detailed for me to do out of applique, I will screen print it. I don't put heat transfer stuff directly on my fabrics anymore because it always peels and it always falls apart. And like every trick I have done in an attempt to avoid this, it never stays together as long as I want it to. So I don't screen print anymore. I either applique, or if I don't applique, I screen print. I do not heat transfer. I simply do not trust it. My plotter cutter is a Silhouette Cameo 4. The machine is okay. It is functional. It always cuts too deep on heat transfer vinyl, which is why I backed it with masking tape. I don't know how to avoid that issue, but it always does, and you can see like some of the designs lifting out, but like it's cut all the way through to the floor. I don't know how to avoid this. I've gone on the fucking forums and I can't fix it. But it's not a Cricut, which is important because Cricut are cunts. They want to lock you down. They lock you down in their environment, like their program, which always has to connect to the internet. It always has to be updated. They change their fucking program all the time. And I know because I got one at my work that I work with all the time. And they just constantly ruin their fucking work environment. And I hate using it, and in just an effort to get you to pay for their subscription so that you can actually turn these fucking settings and stuff off. So here I am building a screen printing frame. I have got a dollar store picture canvas. Ripping out the canvas, and then I'm going to pop out the staples with my pliers and my flathead screwdriver there. I do look awkward as fuck doing this. Like, I haven't found a way to do this neatly. I know there's, like, staple removal tools that exist, that are real. I'm definitely not imagining that. But if I can do something with the tools that I already have, even if it is awkward, even if it does take me extra time, I do it on principle because I'm a fuckhead. Is this the best way to do a screen printing frame? Absolutely not. Getting professionally, or like building professional grade frames, we use a rope to tension your screens. You pre-tension them, and then you apply photosensitive emulsion, and then use that to burn the design into the screen. That is like the industry standard. I don't have a $400 light bulb and a vacuum table to do that with. I got my Silhouette cutter that I bought for a different reason, and I got a bunch of heat transfer vinyl. And this works okay, and I can do multicolor prints just. Like, my registration's a little bit off, but it works. So, and like, even the fabric that I use is jank. It is Swiss voile, and here I am running it through my heat press. Heat press was, given the amount of t-shirts that I do, and like the amount of screens that I burn, a genuine piece of specialist equipment that I actually bought and was worth it. And so here we are. So that's burned, that's been heat transferred, like the heat activated glue, onto this sheer curtain fabric is what it is. It is not silk, so I am not silk screen printing. I am polyester screen printing. Whatever the Swiss file's made out of. But hey, it works, and it hasn't let me down yet. Oh, cat, sorry, but you're gonna get sprayed if you make that noise again. He wants me to go to bed, but I will not. Alright, not until I finish this, and this is not too long. Alright, getting out the last little bits of the transfer tape here, lining everything up, and then we are going to staple. And I use twill tape here along the edges. Reason I use twill tape, just adds reinforcement. You don't have to if you're only going to use a screen once or twice. Twill tape is unnecessary, but if you intend to reuse it over a period of time, do the twill tape. And it just gives your staple something to bite on, and I think it like gives off contact, which makes that slightly better, which is necessary for printing on thicker stuff, but on thinner stuff it's not great. But hey, it all works out. And so here I am, I'm trying to like maintain even tension all the way around and get it so that there is no distortion in my design. Sometimes I have to go back through and restaple some of my stuff due to not having adequate tension, or after the first print, like things stretch out after that first one, and then I have to go back through and restaple it to reintroduce tension so that I get nice clean prints, but hey, it works. And here I am using my Woolworths rewards card to run stuff through the holes. And there we are, double wrist lock. I got that design done by Redneck Kung Fu Shirts, who I need to send a message about my t-shirt for my tag team /faction. But yeah, I highly recommend their stuff. And same with this one, the Matte Battle for my promotion that will never occur. Like, really can't recommend their artwork enough. It was like, I made my money back on the double wrist lock design, not because I was over, but on the strength of the design. Like, the shirts that I make are just straight up cool. And here I am doing some luminescent paint. So this lime green here apparently fluoresces under what's it called? Under UV light. So, because I thought, well, the event that I was making these for was at a music venue. I thought that maybe they'd have like the black lights going while we were wrestling, but no, we were under the house lights there. So my luminescent stuff did not light up, which is a little bit of a shame. But hey, that's life. What can you do? It's not that big a deal. I don't know what I'm fucking around doing here. Might be annoying the cat in the background of this particular piece of footage. So, what do I screen print? Screen printing lasts. Lasts, doesn't crack, doesn't peel, doesn't come off. It becomes one with the fabric. And I think, like, again, I've had enough heat transfer stuff peel off gear that I've made and then had to redo the patches thereon, or redo bits of gear, that just, I require permanence these days, and for that permanence, we use screen printing. So there you go. Matte Battle and double wrist lock ready to go. I'm going to cut just a bit closer with the scissors here, just get it in nice and close, and then I'll be appliquing these on to the shorts. Now, I'm not sure why I did these in this order. I feel like I probably could have... possibly I just wanted to like see the shorts together and then think about where I was going to place the two logos. Or I decided that I was going to whack these on after I'd put together the shorts. One of the two. And so the back of those have been sprayed with spray adhesive. You can see me rubbing it down there to get like a good attachment, and then rubbing the spray adhesive off my fingers. And here we are, back under the Singer heavy duty machine. And you can tell I've been sewing something else. Rethreading the lime thread through. Singer Heavy Duty, it had an auto threader, but I broke that recently, so I have to... Like, it had an auto threader at this point, and then I figured out, finally, after years of having the machine, how to use the auto threader, and then I broke it putting together a set of kick pads, and so now I'm back to threading like a normal human being. Alright, here we go. Zigzag stitches around the edges. This is applique. This is how you do it. This is the best way to apply a design to a item of fabric, in my opinion, if you want that design to last. If it's just like a one and done event, whatever, doesn't matter. But if you want gear to last, appliquing it on is the way to go. I'm trying to think, the old Sprawl MMA shorts had like the Sprawl design appliqued onto them. Those were some good fucking shorts. Like, they were always worn by your most generic MMA guy possible, but they were good quality in Alistair's opinion. Because everything was all appliqued on. It was constructed out of fabric. Alright, here we go. To be seen, the double wrist lock and Matte Battle green shots.